Hi everyone, I've just come to show you an album that I mainly made with the Graphic 45 World Fair paper, and I made it out of these. I recently saw these, oh sorry for the glare, these were reduced in a hobby craft shop, and what they are, the invitations, they open up and they've got a pocket here. I think you put the wedding invitation in and you put the reply bit in there and it folds over. And when I saw these I thought, oh, I could definitely use them. So I bought a couple of packets of brown and like a burgundy colour, and I set about making this album. I cut my chipboard up out of something like a Capri Sun box or something like that. I always recycle chipboard, and as I say, I made the cover, the spine and the back cover out of that. That's the front. I've just popped a piece of the World Fair paper on and I've given it 4 metal corners, and then along the spine, let me just, oops, wrong right. I've cut an image out of the paper here and I've mounted it onto white cardstock, and then I had these thick fibres and I've plaited them, the main colours of the Graphic 45 paper, which is reds, blues and greens in this collection. I've plaited the fibres and I've glued them either side. And then the back, I've just cut one of the balloons from the paper and I Mod Podged it onto the back there. Right, I'll show you inside now. Here I've made a pocket and I've put some little felt flowers, and in the middle of those I've put a diamante, and I've made a big pocket here, and I'll show you all the stuff inside here. So this was just a piece of the paper that I've cut and I've popped a tag on, and on the reverse I've pieced some pale blue cardstock and I've stamped journal so that you can journal on that side. Then there's a little piece of the paper left over, so I folded it in half and I've rounded all the corners. So that's just like a little photo mat booklet. Here I had a lovely piece of stiff white card, and I've put one of the images, I don't know if I cut this out of the paper or if it's one of the ephemera cards, because I bought, excuse me, I was gifted at Christmas from my son. 2 of the presents he got me was the 12 by 12 paper and the ephemera cards, and I can't remember whether I cut this out or whether it's one of the ephemera cards. But anyway, I got a stiff piece of white card, folded it in half and put the image on the front, and then I mat it with these papers here, and these are from a book, a 12 by 12 double-sided springtime collection that my daughter gifted me. And then on the back I've left it blank and I've just stamped journal, so you can put photos inside there, journal on the back, and then you've got a piece of the paper from the collection on the front. Here I've made a file folder out of the paper, and I've cut a piece of cardstock and I've stamped photos, and inside you can pop photos there and on the back, and it's like a little file folder. Here a piece of the paper from the springtime collection again. I just folded it in half and made it into a little photo mat booklet. And here I mat some of the G45 paper onto a piece of cardstock. I made it into a booklet, journal in the middle, and then the paper on the back stuck onto cardstock. So that's quite a few places for photo mats and journaling, and that goes in that pocket on the inside cover. Here I've added a piece of cardstock and I've put a cut apart from the paper, World's Fair, and I made that into a pocket, and that holds a tag. And I've cut some yellow cardstock the shape of a tag, and I've stamped journal, and I've threaded it with the thick like embroidery thread, and then I've stuck to front some of the paper from the World's Fair collection, all tickets, and that pops in that pocket there, and all these photo mats and journal cards that I made all pop in there. Moving across to the first page, I've incorporated 6 of these, and I've done them in a sequence burgundy brown, and I had from the springtime collection I cut 6x4 sheets of paper, and I've backed the triangle flap with half the 6x4, and as it opens up I've put the other half of the 6x4 with this cut apart, because that's where the triangle was, and I thought that has quite a nice effect, that design. And then that's the pocket, so let me take you back and show you. And I've done these in order. I've used 2 different pieces of the paper, sorry, I've used 3 pieces, and I've done 2 the same, 2 the same, 2 the same. So I'll just go through it. On the front of each one of these pages I've done a cut apart from the World's Fair paper. I've stuck that at the front. And then as you open that, I've put a little tiny ticket I've glued here, and I've left the top open so that forms a pocket, and I've put different things in each one. In that one I've just popped a ticket. I've put this green paper on the inside of every flap, and the idea of that was to take the blankness away from the burgundy, and also to hide the magnet, because these are all magnetic closures. So as you open this, we have a large, I think it's 6x4. Just looking to see if the measurements were there. I think from memory that this is a 6, no, it's more than a 6x4, because I actually put a 6x4 and it fitted, the full photograph fitted in the centre. So that's the big space there for the big photo mat. I've put a little banner there, and whatever paper I made the banner with here, I've made the tags to match in this pocket. Here's one. I've used like a craft cardstock, and I've cut it into the shape of a tag. I've stamped journal on it, and I've put this is some of the paper from the collection, and I've threaded it with a double satin red ribbon. So that's that. This was a little piece of the paper that was left over, so I cut it around at the corners, and on the reverse I've just stamped journal. And then, as I say, I can't remember whether this was in one of the ephemera cards or whether, I think it was from the cut apart sheet, and I've just stamped journal there. So those 3 fit nicely into there. Also on here you could put some small passport photos, as you can on this triangle here. You could put a passport photo here, your big photo here, and if you wanted to put anything here you could, and that's magnetic. As you turn over, I've matted the back of the page, and a large photo can fit there, unless you wanted to do small passport or wallet size, but that is ideal for a large photo. Moving across here, again we've got the flap, and I've cut some of the things from the paper Create, Stay Inspired, Imagination and one of the stamps. These are all from the cut apart sheets. And on the flap I've cut another ticket, I've made a pocket and I've popped a different ticket inside there, and then the green paper to hide the magnet. As you open that up, I've made a little banner here from the paper, and then in here I've made some more tags. I've cut some of the paper and I've put one of the Stampin' Up tabs there, and on the back I've just stamped journal. I did back this onto white cardstock because all the Graphic 45 paper is double-sided, so I put some white cardstock and I've stamped journal, so that's one of them. Again, a similar image with the tab. I didn't put anything on the back of that one. Here I've made a cut from the cut apart paper and I've put a tab on the back. I might actually put white cardstock and stamped journal on these. And then I've cut a tag from thick white cardstock. I've stamped journal and I've threaded it with the thick fibres, and I put this image that I cut from the paper, and then I don't know if you can see on the bottom there, I just put some burgundy crocheted lace on the bottom, and that's that, and they pop all in these little internal pockets. Again, room for a big photo. Excuse me. And then inside, on top of the pocket and inside the flap, room for wallet photographs, maybe photographs here, and then the back is matted. And I've done this in order. Excuse me. You've got the pale blue and white flowered paper on 3 sheets, and you've got this pale blue and white on 3 sheets, and on alternative sides. Moving on to this page, there's the flap and there's a cut apart. Again, a ticket for a pocket, and I've popped two other tickets in there. I've made a banner up here. This is all ticket themed, so the banner's ticket themed, so the tags will be ticket themed, and then you've got your ticket with the tickets inside there. So I've cut a piece of the paper here, I've backed it onto the white cardstock, stamped journal, and popped a little tab on. This is a piece of the paper that I've cut down and rounded the corners and creased in the middle, made a little photo mat booklet. And here I've cut some of the yellow cardstock again, stamped journal, threaded it with the fibres, and backed this side with the ticket paper. So that's all ticket paper from the collection. Pop that into the pocket there, and then on the back you've got your photo mat. On these blue and white flowers I've put washi tape on the top, and on these blue and white I've put washi tape on the bottom, just to give it a little bit of colour, and all these colours match the papers and the images. Here I've cut from the cut apart, this was a tag of a balloon, and I've mounted it onto thick white cardstock, and I've done the same with the word adventure. I've mounted that onto thick white cardstock and I've stuck those on the front, and then instead of a banner I've popped a balloon here, and inside the ticket here I've cut a tiny balloon out and popped that in there. So of course most of these will be balloons in here. So I cut out some of the balloons from the collection. Some are full balloons and some the edge of the paper half a balloon, so I've taken advantage of that. I've not wasted it. I've cut the half a balloon and I've pasted it on the edge of the page there. The smaller ones I've put higher up because to make it look further away, and these are close by. So I popped those onto this thick white cardstock, and on the reverse I've stamped journal and I've popped a little tab on there. And then I cut out some yellow cardstock, a tag shape, and I've stamped journal, and I've threaded it with these fibres, and I've popped a piece of the paper on the front showing the balloons. So loads of opportunity for journaling and plenty of room for photographs. And then the reverse for the large photo there. Moving on here, I've cut out a quote from the cut apart sheet, and I've mounted that onto the thick white cardstock, and I've also cut these words and I've mounted that onto the white cardstock. I think that has a really lovely effect when you mount it onto good quality thick cardstock. And I've pasted them on the front, and inside I've popped an image of what do you call them, Ferris wheel, and over here I've got the ticket, and I've popped just a piece of the paper which I put on some cardstock, and I've stamped journal, so just a very small journal spot there. I made some tags, and this image here I've pasted here and here, and I've left it open, so you could put a 4x6, you know, a large photo, and it will just slip in there. This is a piece of the paper that I've cut out. I've rounded all the corners and I've popped a tab on it, and on the back I've stamped journal. So I've done that piece with the Ferris wheel on, and I've done a journaling piece which I've done the same thing, rounded the corners, put a tab on, stamped journal, and then I cut a piece of the yellow cardstock, stamped the journal, and threaded it with these fibres. I love these fibres, they're really nice. And then I've put an image of a Ferris wheel on that tag. So plenty of journal spots in this album, and plenty of room for not only 4x6 as full ones, but as I say, wallet size photographs or passport size as well. And on the back there's the large photo mat. Moving on to this one, I've done the same. I've cut a piece of the cut apart page, and I've mounted it onto the white cardstock, rounded the corners, and then a piece matching with all inspirational words, and I've popped that on white cardstock, and I've popped it there. As you open the flap, there's the ticket there with two little tiny tickets that I've cut and rounded the corners of. They're for decoration really. I suppose you could get away with writing stuff on the back, maybe a date or something. And then I've made a banner here of this paper from the paper collection, and I've made cut a little piece, stamped journal on. Here I've made a little booklet and stamped journal in the middle, and then I've cut some of the yellow cardstock, stamped journal, threaded it with the lovely fibres, and backed it with this paper which matches the banner. The tags in here will always match the paper of the banners or whatever I've stuck here, and that, let me just move it along, that fastens there. 12 magnets this used, that's why I'm not filming it on top of my laptop, because there's so many magnets in it. Right, here on the back page I've made a big pocket here, and I've decorated it with two of the felt flowers which I've put diamantes in the centre. I've cut this bicycle paper out of the cut apart sheet, and I've mounted it onto the thick white cardstock, and I've stuck that on the pocket as well. And inside the pocket I've made a tag which I've cut out the yellow cardstock, a journaling tag, and that's that. And then I've also made these. Now I'll just shift these out the way and show you this first of all. This is a large envelope that I've made, and room there to put a big stack of photographs. It's got a magnetic closure and that pops in there, so you can fill that up with photographs. There's also loads of room here to put loads more photographs in there. You've got your journaling tag, and then here I'll just unwrap this fibre and I'll do a close-up of this fibre. It's beautiful, silky fibre, and then every, say, centimetre or so there's black thread to make it look like a string of beads. It's really lovely. Right, now let me show you about this. This is a waterfall I've made from all the cut parts from the paper. And the first one, because there's lines on it, I've stamped journal, so you can do journaling there, and then on the back photo mat. And like I do on a lot of things, I've put washi tape on all the spaces between the waterfall. This is the next image. Oops. Photos on both sides. These are all from the cut apart pages, or just pages that I've cut pieces from. You've got an image and journaling opportunity there, and then photo mat on the back. Another photo mat. Oh, sorry, that someone's walked past and it's kicked the dog off barking. So there's opportunity there for 12 photographs. There's 6 pieces of waterfall, so 12 sides, so 12 large photographs. Then the base that I've stuck the waterfall onto, I've decorated it with the washi tape and I've stamped journal, and then as you put all those down, I've stamped journal there. So you've got 12 photograph opportunities and a lot of journaling space just on this alone. And then I'll attempt to tie this on camera. So I've just tied some of this fibre. Chip! On there. Bring that across. And that's the matching tag with the matching fibre. Goes inside there. And there's still loads of room for extra photographs. Your other photo mat there. The back of the book, I've Mod Podged a balloon, and the spine, it's got the man and the plaited fibres, and the front has got the images. And then I've cut some of the paper, World's Fair, the title of the album, and I've popped that up on some thick white cardstock, and I've popped it up, and I've decorated the 4 corners with these metal corners that I buy from Hong Kong. And that's that album. Thanks for watching. Bye.